Hello? Hello? Yeah, don't I don't know. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. Okay, just don't mind the late. What the fuck am I doing up right now? What's up, Chaotic? What's up, Cute? What's up, Remwolf? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Like this. Dude, chat. I have a new. Oops, let me change that real quick. Not that. What? I need to change this. 0, 0. Oh. 0, that's 0. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, cool. Let me get Q solos. Yeah. Chat. I'm not gonna lie with you guys right now. I have the best gift notification now. Yo, someone should try it. Okay, yo. What's up, Unknown? What's up, Cute? What's up, Chaotic? What's up, Rosso? What's up, Sandsheet? How are you guys? How are you guys this morning? Hey, Venu. Good morning, Venu. It's 2 in the morning for me. It's 2 a.m. and I'm up right now. I'm gonna play a song real quick. It's 2 a.m. Wait. This song I want to play real quick. Add to queue. There you go. This song is fire. Honest, why aren't you sleeping? Because Mexico plays in the U17 Cup in Indonesia in like 2 hours. So I wanted to stay up, and the only way for me to stay up is to play games. And yeah, that's why I'm up. I have reason to stay up right now. It's 5 a.m. and I'm up. Yeah, so that's like the only reason why I'm up right now. I'm probably gonna be staying up at 4 in the morning because this cup that's going on in Indonesia. I'm pretty sure I have like most of my viewer base that's also in Indonesia, so that's pretty cool. Also, this is my second game on, by the way. I played a game earlier and I won, so I'm fucking happy. But now I'm playing here. Oh, I'm at full caps. We gotta promote. We gotta promote the shameless plug. The shameless plug. Wait, I forgot. I've never been here actually. What the fuck is this? What? Is there like an underground to this? Oh, there's not. Oh, wait, there is. No, there's not. Is that it? Is that really it? Surely not, right? Is there? No, there's not. Okay. What's up, chat? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I'm sorry for this late stream, but I mean, it's Saturday, so I mean, you guys can stay up, surely. What's up, Star? What's up, Witherhide? What's up? Welcome, guys. Good fucking morning, you madman. Sorry. It's because, listen, I didn't stream yesterday and Friday, so I would get to stream, you know? I'm sorry I didn't stream yesterday, by the way. What's up, Shadow? This is actually so early. I know. So early or so late? You decide. What up, Jonah? Dude, am I streaming like early for people? I mean, am I streaming like at a good time for people right now? What is it like? It's not, dude, honestly, it's 12 p.m. somewhere in the world. Right? I got my first soul. Oh, wait. Willerhide. You're actually carrying, bro. Are you already on, Willerhide? You're not on. Wait, you are. No, you're not. Chad, y'all think I win this? Would David have a mod in chat? I feel like my mods are sleeping low-key. Oh no, my mod's here. It's 11 a.m. It's perfect. Oh no. Oh no. Dude, no. Yesterday I had a like birthday, I guess you can say. And bro, I woke up so late I missed the birthday. I mean, I woke up and I went straight to the birthday, but I was so late. I felt bad. I felt horrible. It's fine though. They understood I stream still. Yo. I was even streaming. Draptrue. Draptrue. Draptrue, bro. Draptrue. I got some great news. Let me know when you're home. Are you home in Australia yet? Dude. I got some tea, bro. I got some tea for you, bro. At the live steal server, you know. Chat, Drapshoe's my friend, and Drapshoe's also, he's my team on the live steal SMP public server, and we're gonna be making big moves soon. Are you home still? I'm home now, dude. DM me, bro. Okay, well, this actually I can't talk about it on stream, but just know, dude, it's big. Okay, I'll tell you. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm excited, bro. Same, dude. Same here. Also, hi, Barry Louise. Good morning. Yeah, chat. Sorry I'm streaming so late. I kind of fucked my sleep schedule up as well last night, sleeping at 4 in the morning, but it's fine. How was Japan though, Dropshot? Did you enjoy it? Wait, you're gonna do something in Live Soup Beta? Yes. I'll be streaming it too. I guess can't say too much because, yeah, I can't say too much because server's not out yet, but just know the server's gonna be hype. A lot of, dude, really? You know, I would pay big bucks for a Dragon Ball Z figurine from frickin' Japan. I mean, I already spent like, I don't even want to say how much. I spent like 300 on like 2 figurines from Japan, but they're like limited edition Goku Black figurines that I bought. Well worth it. Also cheap, it's high quality. Really? Probably because it's in Japan and I bought mine in America. And I probably get scammed. Honestly, I probably did get scammed now that I think about it. It was like this like local antique shop that they sold it in. Oh fuck, I just got scammed. Sanshit. I'm so sorry. Yeah, America's a scam itself, let's be honest. Alright. Chat, let's focus up. I gotta get like, I need to focus up. I'm trolling right now. I have enchants already. That's good. I still need a diamond sword. I can DM you the stuff Drapshot if you after the stream. I'll remind myself to DM you. About the things that I've heard in the grapevine. It's actually epic, bro. It's like, oh, you'll see. Sunsheet. Yeah, Sunsheet, easy. W. See, I already got it first try. Kill. How's everyone doing, chat? Everyone having a good morning, afternoon? I don't even know what time it is for everyone. Chat, put your age. No, don't put your age. Put your time in chat. Yo. 11 p.m. Sheet. Like a sheet of paper. Sheet. Like a sheet of paper. Sunsheet. Oh, sunsheet. Like a sand sheet, but sunsheet. Not sheet. What? Oh, not sheet. Sheet of paper. A sheet of paper. Am I dumb? Am I stupid? 3:50, 11 a.m. Oh my god. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, so just amazing time to stream, I guess, for everyone. I'll call you Sun. Oh my fucking god, I suck at these names. 918? W? Okay. Wait, I don't even know, bro. Sometimes I feel like I stream too late. Did I go? Oh my god, I already forgot where I came from. I need to get 2 diamonds. Actually, I can just make a power 3 infinity. What am I doing? Wait, I actually might be trolling, chat. No troll. Wait, I can rush, I have 2 gunpowder. Fuck. If I can find more gunpowder, I can rush Artemis Bow Infinity. I've never tried that before yet. Hi, Known, by the way. How are you? How to pronounce? Clear comes.
Sunchit.
Wait.
Sunchit.
Okay, now it sounds like I'm saying shit. Sunshit. Am I saying it right now? Shit. Sunshit. Okay. Yo. Now. Okay. Don't cancel me, please. Ice. Bro. Sunsheet. Can I just call you son? Ch, ch. Not sh. Ch. Ch. Chit. Tunchit. Chunchit. Fuck me, man. What the fuck? I'm so horrible at this. Yo, or Sparkle, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Yo, am I the only streamer that's live right now at 2 in the morning for people? Okay. Yes. Wait, that's a good, right? That's a good thing. Wait, I'm taking like the Australian time. Wait, W. Can I be the new Australian streamer? Can I just move to Australia, please? What does Australia have that I don't? That America doesn't? Hi, Peach. Hi, Peach. Hi, Peach. I'm calling you son. I'm calling you son. Hi, son. Peach, how do you pronounce son's name? You know. This song is literally a fucking vibe and I love it. What's up, Haruki? What is good? What is good? What is good? Poor streamer, his night brain is not. Yeah, no, it's. I'm just GG's. I'm gonna get like a 3-shot of espresso soon, from Starbucks, by the way, so I can stay up all day. And like probably gonna get some Celsius as well. You know, I actually have an idea. I have pre-workout next to me. That's 400 milligrams of caffeine. If I technically like take 1 scoop, that's like 2 coffees right there. Chat, thoughts? Chat, is that good or nah? Like technically speaking, if I just drink 2 coffees, that's 400 milligrams of caffeine, right? Why not just drink 400 in 1 serving? You know what I mean? I haven't eaten McDonald's in like 5 years, I'll be honest with you. 6 years, I think now. Hi, Zyke. Bro doesn't know what sleep is. Nah, I don't, Zyke. I literally don't. Music goes again. I don't have diamonds, bro. Like, what the fuck? And I told her. Oh, okay. Spoke too soon. A vein of diamonds. What the? An extra vein, please. Scoop again. Fuck. Yeah, I just need amethyst right now. Yeah, now what is that? What's 9 plus 14? 12, okay. I can make enchants now. I can make enchants. I'm probably gonna make I don't know what I'll make. We'll see. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Scanning with the shampoo. It's an 8, yeah, 8 vein, but it turned to 9. So dubs. GG dubs. You really don't want to stay up and drink something with caffeine? You wake up in about your time. No, you know what I've been seeing though? Like, no troll. I saw this on my TikTok feed. Apparently, like, if I want to just like go to sleep, there's a thing called the military, what is it? The military sleep or military rest or something like that, where like you tense all your muscles for like a span of 5 seconds, and after you just fall asleep. I haven't done it yet, but I might try it. But it also looks like scary because, like, you know, like who wants to, like, I don't know. I don't know. Why you so up late? Good reason. I'm watching Mexico play like in 2 hours, so I gotta watch that. It's an Indonesian Cup, so that's why it's so late. Yeah, the military method. Yeah, yeah. Does it work? Do you know if it works, Star? But yeah, I haven't eaten McDonald's in like a long ass time, I'll be honest. I think it's just like, dude, yeah, definitely been 5. Also, how are you? Did I see that, Peach? How are you, Peach? Hi, Peach. 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 Peach, you're grinning to chatter. I know all the Grenader chatters. I know you guys. Some Grenader chatters smell. AK FT Butter smells. I'm just kidding. Hi, FT Butter, if you're here. I'm kidding. You don't smell. Okay. Okay. I just need to find lava now. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Isn't the military method the sleep thing can control my breathing? I have no idea. All I know is that I saw a video and some dude was like taking deep breaths, and then like he'll tense his muscles and stuff, and you gotta sleep a certain way. Honestly, bro, it's just too much. Oh, do you know, that reminds me, Zach, you know what I have to do? I gotta record a video. Gotta record a video soon. I need to go up, bro. Yeah, that's where the diamonds were. I hear lava down here. Hello? Okay. We'll do this. Do you want some? Wait, did I get all of them? Bet. We'll make this. Diamond sword. Bam. Chestplate? Hold on. The fuck? Yo, am I gonna make like a diamond hoe? By the way, guys, if you guys aren't here, you guys should no, yo. I was gonna say I have a new sub alert thing. It's pretty cute, I'm not gonna lie. So if there's any gifters, I want to try it out. You know what I mean? It's actually really cute, low key. Like, you guys are like actually jealous that I made this. Just see it through. Just saying, you know. Okay, do that. Did I actually try making a bread table? I'm so sorry. A bread table is crazy though, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, 5 levels? Huh? Alright, let's go up. Whip it up like beater. See this? Wait, where's the hole at, bruh? What's it there? Dude, why is today such a great day for myself? Like, I don't know. You see Mind Vibe, by the way? No, what is that? It's Mind Vibe. There's a creeper right there. Low-key could just get 2 gunpowder, maybe. Oh, fuck. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, I just go up. What's up, Swipper? That's Vexer that released yesterday. Not just crazy, really. What does it have? What does the server have on it? I have more ads. Bet. Thank you for the ads. What's up, Hobo? Good morning, Hobo. Let's face it, more sponsor situation. Alarm. Honestly, fuck it. I might just like stay up 72 hours and just play Minecraft. Thoughts? I have no healing. Wow. Wait. Okay. XP chance in this game, it's fine. Did I get chat? Do you guys remember if I got all the? I hope I did. Oh, I can't believe I want. Yeah, I just need healing. That's all I need. I just gotta clean people, I guess. Okay. It's just not what I wanted to do, but okay. Pop off, I guess. At Jemmy, hello. Hello, Hopliters. Hello. Hello, Hopliter. Whoa. Hello, fellow Hopliter. Welcome to the chat. Yo, what the fuck? Why is this guy mean? L stupid biatch. Like, okay. Bro's mad, I guess. Okay. Okay. How are you, Jemmy, right? What's up, Jemmy? Wait, did you rush another? No, oh my. It's fine. We're gonna rage that there's no nether pot rushers. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Also, I didn't have like any time to like see what I was doing, so I kind of just went straight up to rush because I got diamonds went fast. Yo, Calamara. It's a Calamara Mar. Hello. Hi. What is that, son? Stop, stop. Surely there's not. Surely. Is that an elf? Surely. Morning Hedge. How's your day? Good. It's actually fire. Fire for me. I got home late from a birthday, my cousin's birthday. And yeah, it was good. Hobo. Hi, Hobo. Hey, Hobo. Hi, Hobo. Ooh. But. Yo, but. Yo, hey, yo. No microphone. No microphone. Hello. Yo, what's up, goat? No, you're the goat. Yeah, we have the Christmas emotes now. What sport you watching Mexico tonight? Soccer, football. It's in an hour and 30. Can someone remind me an hour 30, please? I was gonna watch it on stream. Okay, not with you guys, but I'll watch it like on my phone, you know? Wait, where is bro going, bruh? Oh my god. This is where I want to border. Oh, no, we're going in a cave because he's trapping me now. 20 bucks he's trapping. Okay, just not gonna fight. I just feel like he's trapping with this. Oh my god, bro. Why do I just know he's trapping? Chat, what? Am I gonna get trapped here? In 3, 2, 1. I'm 13. Oh my god, bruh. I need your healing. There's a way to catch up to him, actually. There's a... I think there's like a Minecraft just like way you can run. I forgot like what direction it is. But I'm pretty sure if you like run slide... I don't know. Forgot the method. You can run like a little bit faster than someone if you look a certain way. Is it 45? Is it 45 strafing? Isn't like doing that stuff though. Okay. The fuck is that noise? Someone just okay. So what was the plan there? 3 gaps? Okay. I think I just spit on my monitor, by the way. Hey, gunpowder? Oh my god. Wait, 1, 2, 3. I need 5. Fuck. Okay, well, I have arrows now. I just gotta make here's someone. Just shot at me. Where? Oh, it's this guy. It's Louise or something. Come on. Come. I need you for healing.
My bad, bro.
No, bro. I need you to kill you now. Wait, wait a second.
No.
Are you gonna play the song now?
We live.
Stop, dude.
We love.
Dude, you should do that. Just like. Nah, bro. I need you to sing the whole song. We live.
Let me search up the lyrics.
Okay, you have 10 seconds. Go. I'll stop going for you if you actually look it up. We live, we fall. Go. Oh, wait a second.
Is this a place I call home? This is what I become.
Okay, what? Okay, Louis, I need you to leave me alone, okay? Or I'll crit you out, like, yeah. I need this kill. Okay, yo, Smurf cat, bro. Yo, fishy. Yo, fishy. Why are you running? Yo, fishy, bro. Why are you running? Fishy, please. Fishy. Okay, actual W water, but I need to ask you why you're running. Okay. All right. Okay, and he's right behind us. Okay, this Smurf cat is right behind us, bro. I need to crit you out. You're on 3. He's 1 bow shot. I swear to God, if you still like it, you're dead. Ah, you have 3 seconds to run. 3, 2. I mean, I got up on you. Wait, you're on. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Don't think you want to see what I have.
I don't, bro. Do you not hear my fucking music?
Huh?
Do you not hear this?
I'm not muted. Yo, what's up, chat?
Oh wait, you heard. Wait, stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, you have a G head? Wait, don't eat that.
I have two
Wait.
and I have
Oh,
five
you have
caps.
2. Oh, wait a second. I have none. I don't know why I'm chasing you, but it's all right. If I die, I die. You know what I mean? It's only like a game, you know?
Wait, I have a trap. I have a trap. I have a trap.
Oh, you have a trap. Wait, lead me to it.
I have a trap.
Wait, you're on 26. Wait, eat your G head now.
I have a trap.
What eat your G head now? Wait, eat your G head now.
I got you.
Wait, eat your G head now. Wait, you eat your G head. Wait, you eat your G head.
No,
Wait,
I
don't.
have block. This is not fair. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, I can look you drop you. Hold up.
Yeah, I know. I have no healing. I told you.
Ow, what the fuck is that reach, you dick?
What?
Someone's gonna clean this, bro. Don't you?
We love. Come on, sing the song, bro. Why aren't you singing the song?
Yo, this guy about to clean this, bro. Chill out. What's up, man? Well, you're killing. You fucking lied.
You also have healing.
Yeah, this guy's not gonna clean us, bro. Okay.
GG, man.
Hey, see, you didn't clean. Wait, W mans didn't clean.
I'm here to bring a gift, my guy.
No. Hey.
I'll say here. Look what I'm dropping, bro.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Oh, dude. I can't.
Goodbye.
Dude. Oh. Well, I didn't ask for it. Okay. Right on. Okay. No, not me. Hey, yo, mods. Yo, mods. Not me. Nuh-uh. Yo, mods. Yo, not me. Nope, don't ban me. That wasn't me. I said don't do it, and he did it anyways. Don't ban me. Oh, no. Nope. Not here, mods. Nope. Oh, okay. Okay. Yo, Blue, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Okay, chat. That wasn't me. I hope I don't get banned, bro. I make areas. I got you. Okay. Well, I don't. Okay, I'm just okay. You see, now I know when people say streamer loot. Now this is what streamer loot is right here. Okay, this is actually streamer loot. No troll. Actual streamer loot. Like what the fuck? Wait, chat. Clear comes. No clippers. All right. No clippers. No one clips, right? Yo. I'm banning you. Wait, no, please don't ban me, hobo. What? All right. Oh, and there's just okay. I'm gonna go ahead and loot this. Guys, all good morning. I need wood. I have obsidian as well. What can I craft with all this stuff, chat? Can someone like actually tell me what I can craft? He's so scared. Okay, well. Craft pants. True, low-key. Oh, I have. Okay. Chat, watch this. I'm gonna make the most broken bow in Hoplite UHC. Oh my god. Watch this, chat. So first, I need to do. Okay. First you do this. You do this first. I think this is how you do it. Wait. Like that. And then we need this. Wait, is there no copper? I swear this guy had one of them copper, right? Yep. Okay, we're gonna do this. I think I saw someone in my vision. Those are fucking cheap. 2 diamonds. Throw the bow out. Hey, what? What am I missing? Chat, what am I missing for Artemis? Got a TNT. Oh, I need feathers. Fuck. Wait, so spare 2 diamonds. Stomach pants. This is the OP bundle. This is the OP bundle. Do I just like... What do I do with this? Oh my god, my inventory management is fucking horrible.
Hello.
Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you think you're doing?
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'll be honest with you. I don't think you chased me. I have something that you don't want to get dropped with. I'll be honest with you. All right.
I have sharp 4 and full prop 3.
Wait, what? You have sharp 4?
Yeah.
Wait, really? Say
How do you
really?
think I did so much damage?
Oh, I don't know.
What's your thing? Oh, shit.
Oh, it is shit for you. Wait, I want your sharp 4 though. You get another jihad on me. I'm not gonna lie, your dog's more annoying. Oh my god, my box armor just might. What's up, Emmy? Yo, your dogs are annoying.
My dog's gonna hate you into me.
You're on 16. You're only through this game. I think this is just... We have a sharp 4, you said, right? I need that.
Possibly.
I need that sharp 4, Blobo. Hey, your dog?
You should stop and kill it. I'll end up.
Yep. I'm good. Yo, do you have Twitch account?
Yeah, I will follow you. No, I'm not watching you. I'm not watching
What?
you, but I will. Yeah, I'm not. I'll watch you after this though.
After
I'm
what?
not a stream sniper. After, well,
I
my
believe
death,
you.
obviously.
Oh, you're a good guy, man. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, there's a boy in my bundle. No.
So do you actually have a sharp 4? Or are you lying to me?
No, it's a sharp 3. It's a sharp.
Yeah, well, still need that. Oh, you're full prot 2, though. Okay. Wait. Oh, sharp 3. Cool. Oh, he didn't lie to me. Actually, no, he did lie to me. Wait. Oh, it's only 1 feather. Fuck. I'll text that. I'll take that. Okay, I just need out feathers. That's it. Yeah, prop 3? Yeah, hold up. Let me just, hold on. Hold on. Yo, chat. Clear comms, bro. Clear comms. I got this. Bullying little kids. All right. All right, cancel me. Chill. Okay. I got this right here. 1, 2. Oh. I want to make this bow just so I can, like, title my video something, you know? I got the most broken bow in Hypixel UH, or on fuck, what is this server called? Hoplite. Yo, I'm stupid. Alright. Come on. Cubecraft, alright. Now we're trolling chat. Good shit. It's not this way. What is in here that I need? Artemis bow. Yep. And then Infinity. Okay. And then cool. Hi, bro, trash. I can just, yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this might just be wrapped for the next person I see. Oh wait, this actually might hit someone. If it pings someone. I need a crafting table again. Wait. Infinity doesn't work on the bow. Bruh. Okay. This actually doesn't work. Never mind. I need those arrows back. Never mind. Okay. Right on. Okay. Give me back those arrows that I dropped somewhere. Wherever I dropped them. I swear to God, if they're out the border. Wait, F3B. I have to check it. Oh, is it worth it getting him? Might be worth getting him. Okay. You'll also, Emmy, thanks for follow. Appreciate it. Thought I already crafted on my jihads. All right. Damn. So I literally just okay. That's chill, I guess. Yo, massive. Bro, I'm literally a bot, bro. Yeah, Infinity's a scam. True. Oh, craft table here for me. Nice. Yeah, bro, I had strength 2 bots. I'm sorry. Also, yo, does anyone know if this strength is nerfed or speed's nerfed as well? Or no? Is speed not nerfed? It is? Both are nerfed? Okay, so I have to run with speed, right? But I gotta gamble. I love gambling. Alright, there you guys go for my gambling addicts out there. 3 gaps. 3 gaps. 3 gaps? Oh, no. Okay. Here you guys go. Gambling addicts. What is that over there? What the fuck is that? Can I, like, shoot that person up there? Can my arrow, like... Oh, I know you guys like to gamble. That's a villager. No way someone's getting the emerald sword in there, right? Who's up there? Is someone up there? Oh, wait. You'll find out right now? Nope. Okay. Maybe buy arrows? Do I even have emeralds? Oh, dude, this song is so good. If you know Spanish. The fuck? Yo, did I? I'm hearing things, bro. I swear I heard someone like pot up. Eat a gap? I didn't. I should just feed all my... Wait, should I just feed the horse apples? Like thoughts? Wait, low-key as well? I could just do this. Never mind. Is there anything else I can craft with 4 diamonds? I guess if I get crying, I can make a scythe. But, I mean, I have pots, so... an axe? I mean, mid, no? I just drop the next person I see, like, if it's like someone sweaty. Oh, look at this, someone here. Hello. Hello, dashing.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Y'all need to hit your horse.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll wait to DM.
I don't think your horse wants to wait.
You're a lost cause.
Hey, your horse likes me better. Hey, what the fuck? Wait, why'd you just kill your horse, bro?
Have a nice day, sir. Oh my, ow, that hurts.
Is it actually? Holy shit, I'm an archer, bro. Okay. Okay, someone else bowing me. Oh yeah, keep bowing me. Please. Nothing.
Oh, nothing? Oh, okay, sorry.
Nope, that's right. Oh, we'll see you. Yep, see you soon.
See you soon, bro.
Yep. All right. I got no redstone. Oh shoot, someone spawned next to me. Hello.
Hey, do you want redstone, bro?
Nah, you know, it's fine. I think I'll pass the redstone.
I found my bundle.
No, it's fine. It's good. Oh my god, we got spawned here. Look at that. Oh, someone pearled mid. No way, someone get a mid chest. oh. I am good. Oh my. Okay, this guy wants to. Okay. Yo, yo, hey, yo. Thank you for the head.
That sword hits, bro. What the fuck's on that?
Nothing.
That's like sharp 4 or 5. I know. I feel it.
Well, I want whatever that is.
For me?
Oh, well, that guy just said you have a sharp 4. You're the biggest threat, I think, in the game.
No. He was lying, bro. It's literally shot 4. Boom.
Oh, he said it's literally sharp 4. Yo, 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 speech on, bro.
Oh, it was sharp 4? Okay, thanks. That's what I wanted to know.
It's sharp 1. Okay, the guy lied to you. All right, bro. Bro's the most gullible in this game. Okay. I am so sorry for the next person I see. I actually, you know what? I have to go for this guy, low key. I think this guy might be my biggest in the game. Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, 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 where you going, bro? Yo, 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 you can't be doing that, bro. Okay. Right on. Dashing.
Go away. Let
I
me
shot
craft
him.
my items.
What items? Oh, I can't let you craft anymore. Why'd you say that? What the? You're glowing above me, by the way. Just letting you know. Shot him.
I didn't hear you.
Hey, oh, damn. I did damage to you, I think. I did damage to you there. Okay, I'm clearing this guy here. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Never mind. I don't want to kill him. Oh, this guy just
Bro,
chest
got
to
an Ares up there. It's Prime Day.
Ha. All right, where'd this guy go? Yo, oh my. Are we gonna camp up on top, really? Okay. Okay, bro. So the goal of this game, who will camp on houses the longest? I see.
Oh,
I
there
don't
you
want
are.
to fight me.
No, not really, actually. I just want to, like, chip you.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's either me or you. This other guys are just camping in houses.
No, but, like, we can get him out of the house.
I know, but you know, we can. You know what?
Come on,
I tried
we
both.
can talk about it. You want
You
to
know,
talk about it? Hey, come down from there. You! Hey, don't go up there. I'll talk to him, Dashing, listen to me, alright? We have one common enemy in this Qndres guy. He's fucking stacked, alright? If you leave me down here alone, he's just gonna drop me, and then he's gonna drop you, and then he's gonna drop
Bro,
that.
I know what you're doing. I ain't stupid.
Okay. I'm not. What the fuck do you mean? Oh, what's up, Dashing? Oh, I didn't... Wait, you! Dude, you betrayed me. Dashing, you're leaving me down here again, man.
Almost had it. West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountain.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. I think I just win this, by the way. If you just want to fight me, by the way. I'll be honest. Like, I have stuff.
You're giving consent for cross teaming?
No, but like, if you just want to like take 1v1s.
Oh, dude, yeah, no shit. You win the 1v1s. We know that.
You know, hey.
You got Artemis full diamond. I
Yeah.
know you got the street cred too, man.
Have a stream cred, you said?
You got street cred. My friend was like, he knew your name. He was like, oh shit.
Oh, damn, you got scared?
I
Come on.
wasn't scared, but he was.
Hey, what the heck? I'm a pretty nice guy, you know? My name is
Oh, I didn't
Qndres,
say
you know?
you were a mean guy. I just heard you were pretty good.
Oh, okay. W men's. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna go for this Yalba guy. Y'all let me go for this Yalba guy?
Yeah, he doesn't have a mic.
Okay, I'm going for this Yalba guy then.
I'm still gonna be bow spamming you the whole time though, because I don't want you to win.
Oh my god. I'm gonna cry, guys. I don't think you guys are gonna see me cry, like low key. Oh, see how much my bow hurts? Look.
No, you already showed me. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, that one hurt. Ooh, that one hurt. Wait a second. What am I doing? Wait, I'm literally covered in arrows. I got an F3B. Who's shooting me from where? Oh, it's this guy up here.
Did you not know he was up there?
No, I thought the guy was behind me. Boom.
I really miss why you were standing still. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, this Yaba guy, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, probably my only threat in the game. Meow.
Uh-oh, this man's dead. Buddy, run!
Get ahead.
Get out of the Yaba. Watch out.
Okay. Well, I wanted to fight someone, but you know, apparently that's not gonna happen.
I can't just let you get him for free, bro. You're in full diamond. It's just like we're all.
Yeah, but like, you know.
No,
Go away
you gotta
from my
explain
house.
more than that. That doesn't make any sense. Come on.
Bow me. No, not him, bruh. I'm sorry. I gotta fight someone.
I want the assist.
Okay.
3 coins. Oh, I
You can't defeat friendship.
I got a great idea.
I can.
And you're not gonna. You are not
But
gonna
friendship lasts
appreciate
beyond
this.
death.
Oh, I like this actually. I keep it there.
That was not your best idea, bro. That was kind of cool. I'll give you that.
You think so? Wait, do you know who Carter is?
Nah.
That's crazy.
Crazy. I was crazy once.
Who's Carter? Tell me.
Carter. It's Carter.
Before I die, tell me.
Oops. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, that's a lot of healing. Let me know when you wanna.
Something tells me I had a 1% chance, and now I have a 0% chance.
You know, I wouldn't say 0. You definitely have a chance still.
I mean,
Unless I
if
picked the sharp
win, I
5 from the
know
floor. Okay, well,
Yeah. Oh, well, I got a shot for Maris.
yeah, sharp for fire.
No, shot just regular shot for Maris.
Oh. I just need this. Don't mind me. Sorry. Yep, don't mind me. I'm just doing some stuff. Oh no, don't shoot me, man. I was looking for. That's what I need. Okay. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I swear, every time I'm in your game, you're always in deathmatch. Oh, that's not good. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, aim. GG! Okay. How are you still alive? I'm literally just not gonna move my fingers anymore. I'm just gonna like right click. Oh, server lag? Oh no, wait, you're trolling. Oh my god. Hey. GG. Okay. Drink, I got you. GG's chat. GG's. 8 kill game. Not bad. What's the texture pack? It's right here. Oh, that's not it. It's a Chosy Fault. Can you rush another game? Sure. Why not? GG's. That's what I want to do for the next game. I just want to put that there right now. Thanks for following, Splint. Appreciate it, man. And yo, Sag is sad. Wait, that's actually fire. Fire name. All right. We are 1 for 1 right now. All right, cool. True. Oh my. Where is he? Where is he? Wait. Where is this guy? Where is he?
Right now. Right now.
What's up, Wessie?
Yo, what's up, man?
Qndres.
All right. I'm heading to bed. Peace out, Star. Good night. Hi, Draw. Hello. Be lurking currently dealing with. I'm sorry about that. Second channel video? Maybe. That's only a kill game, though. I think what I told myself is I'm just gonna upload anything that's like 15 plus kills now. Because if I only do like 10 kill games, it's like it cuts down to only being 4 to 5 minutes. And I'm trying to get like long content, you know? But I don't know. But what I did see is people were like combining games together, solo games. I could do that too. We'll see though. What are you playing? I'm playing Hoplite. What's up, Wick? Are you live this time? Bro, Mexico plays like in an hour, so I'm gonna watch the game while I'm streaming. That's why I had to stay up. It's World Cup U17. So yeah, that's why I'm up right now. So it's the men's World Cup in Indonesia U17, and I want to watch it. It's Mexico versus Germany. Did I just rush another then, or what, chat? You guys want to see me rush another? Dude, how does Feinberg do it every game, bro? That guy's cracked, bro. That guy's too fast for it. Hold on, how about an idea? I can just do this. Let the water down here. Okay. Okay, the water's going down. Yes, it was 2-2. But this is like this one's like, what's it called? Like World Cup, you know? I think I already made. Okay. Why did I make another one? I don't want to be alone. By the way, y'all messing with the playlist, by the way, guys? Y'all like it? Like, what is this cave? Like, what did I go down to? Like, I wanted a lava exposed, but nah, this is just nothing. Garbage. On your mind. Oh, that's lava exposed. I think it's like this, right? Yeah. What if I don't have enough? Wait, hold on. Wait, no shot, right? Okay, we do. It's a little scuffed portal, but I mean... There you go. Pretty sure Fiend does a lot. Oh, really? It's Bastion. This one's another 2. It's not this way. It's gonna be this way somewhere, I think. See it. I'm looking at Bro Bridge. What the fuck? Okay. Just got launched. I could just loot the top chest instead of looting these chests. Looting this gold, I mean. Well, I can make a katana now if I just find diamonds. I just died to a guy with half netherite. Wait, really, Sparkle? What the wait, half netherite? What? Oh my god, this guy coming, bro. I think he got the top chest already. Did I just raid after or something? Oh, I got fire charges already. Cool. Hello? Is there even chests in this bastion? These parts? Damn, they loot these chests already. Might just have to go mining for another ice scrap real quick. Damn. Oh, fuck. They got both of these things. No way. Alright, it's fine. Just follow right. You'll find debris. Wait, low-key. People have been x-raying recently a lot. Like, it's crazy. Just wait till they get caught and GG's. It's like... I actually have a game that I might release on my channel when I kill... Bro, this guy's is actually annoying. I have a game where I found an X-ray that got banned and I got like 20-something diamonds. It's crazy. Actually, from this game. Oh, you got it. Nice. Chat, what's the Y level for this again? But it's easier to find a Y14. Yeah. Surely I can find it, right? There's no way the people are actually in my lobby right now, right? Please, bro. I just want one debris. Last time I did this, I did not find any. How to get a bed from... Okay, this gas are annoying, bro. Can we just kill all gas? Like, what? Come on, bro. Twilight 14. Yeah. Low key, I think it's just like that's the move. I think I go back nether or go back overworld, get a bed, and just blow this up. And yeah, because I don't know. I don't think I find it by the time, you know. Wait, do I get? Hold on. No, I don't. Unless like I just get really lucky right here. Oh, wait. Am I stupid? Yeah, I'm stupid. I thought I saw someone on the ceiling. Wait. Dude, really? I can't find any debris. Y14, someone got told the same thing. Use down picks. Yeah, but they don't mine fast. That's the thing with this diamond pickaxe. They don't mine fast. What if I just get lucky right now? I just find one. Please, come on. I'm just gonna go up then. I'll come right now with the bed and just find some. Oh, I think that's not allowed, but please. Wait, what? The lava trick? Wait, what lava trick? Why just X-ray and lava? That's literally bannable, I'm pretty sure. Doing that lava where you put your head in the lava? Yeah. Like, actually against the rules. GG's. G freaking G. I heard a mod say it's allowed. There's no way. Really? I was told by an admin that wasn't allowed. It's actually X-ray. You fucking serious? I have a mod confirming, you know, if the mod's in my chat, when there's a mod in my chat, because I'm pretty sure they're all sleeping right now. I'll ask. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've heard like everything from staff. I've heard that. Who's that? Oh. Okay. So it's just a random dude just swimming up. Wait, I low-key still need one more obby. Fuck. Fuck. Wait, there's sheep right here, but I have like nothing to share it with. Fuck. Wait, I have an idea. Yo, thank you for the follow, but I can't read that name. Fuck. I don't know what this is. Qndres, the biggest meme muncher known to man. AJ. Hi, AJ. Dude, Chad, y'all know that me and AJ are like low-key, like long-lost brothers? I know that. Oh, yeah, wait, actually 5-head. But you're actually fucking right. I'm sorry, I'm not very smart in that department. AJ. I don't fuck with Twitch anymore. Yo, that name's crazy. Fiend. Wait, AJ, did you just wake up? Wait, AJ, you actually have a regular sleep schedule? No way. Okay. Damn, low-key, I'm really taking too long. 6 a.m. right now? Damn. Wait, have you seen Minutesec? Wait, dude, Minute is like actually like, dude, like GG's, you know? Why am I not making like something with this? Oh my god, dude. Chat, is this even worth it at this point? Going for this damn katana? I have like infinite whatever. We're doing it anyways. We're already like committed for it. We're committed. We are committed for this. No, did bet it did. That guy got in first, or went through first, so. Okay. Okay. What am I supposed to do here? Okay. This is actually horrible, bro. Like, I don't know why I'm even rushing this anymore. I should not rush another. Y14. Yeah, like, I gotta, like, just do it now. All right, let's see if it's true. Okay. I'm just streaming love and PvP starts soon. I don't see any chat. I got lied to. Okay. So when do I call it quits? I'm like full line right now, by the way, with a bunch of healing. I have like literally nothing. Not dead ass. I have like, there's a guy right here. Oh, this could be bad. Oh, uh-oh. Chat, if I kill him, everyone has to get 5 subs in chat. Deal? Well, is there even a way up there? I said if I kill him somehow, everyone in chat gets 5 subs. If I die, then nothing happens. We just go next. Bet. I love deals like this. Oh, there's people fighting right there. Mike, how am I gonna get up though? Wait, it's actually wraps. Bro. Oh my god, bro. Everyone's just dying. Unless... I'm up. Oh. um. Right, okay. Yep. Okay. Oh. Okay. Whoa. What the? Okay, right. Well, I'm ready. Yep. Oh my god, it works. Oh my, it's so loud though. Oh my god, it is so loud. It's so loud. It's so loud. It's so loud.
VO96
VO,
has gifted
thank you
5
for the
subs.
gifted sub. Thank you, VO. Chat, is that not a Q notification or what? Tell me that's not a Q notification. It's so loud, I know. But yo, tell me it's not cute though. Tell me that's not cute. Thank you, VO, for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. VO, do you like the new alert, by the way? Yeah, that chat, that was low-key staged. Definitely knew that was happening. Definitely knew that guy was gonna die. Yep, so true. It was loud. Yeah, I gotta turn it down. I'll turn it down. I'll turn it down. Wait, you gotta like dude, how did I get a free katana from that, bro? Okay. Like, okay. Stage supply drop. So true. Yep. So true. It just spawned in and then there's just there. Everything there for me. Yo, what is that noise, bruh? Oh, there's a guy right there. Hold on. Like, surely it's just like not naked, right? If this is good. Like, okay. Dude, these literally look like surprise drop. All right. Okay. When I'm getting banned from the server. Like, okay. What does every kill I get look like a supply drop right now? No troll. It's not looking good. Moderators are currently watching me. I love you, Qndres. Gay. Okay. Yeah, this game. I swear to God, if there's anything else, I just like. At this point, if there's like a guy that just has strength and just comes to me and I just kill him. What the? I honestly, I don't even know what else can go. Like, what's like the? I don't know. Like, what's something that can be planned right now that can happen? Chat. What is it? Haters gonna hate. No, for real. Haters will say it's fake. Haters won't. That guy's looking for me. Oh, I ran out of food, but don't worry, I have golden carrots. Oh, that guy's looking for me. Monkus. Any books? Yeah, I need kills now. I can actually make this video. I think that guy's stream sniping, but I don't want to call it out yet. Because who's currently at this border? You know what I mean? I'm not going to call it out though yet. My inventory is a mess too. Wait, I have so much, dude. I just can't believe it's real. Like, why do I have everything? Nah. All right. Wait, you know why you started though, right, AJ? Always know why you started though. Remember? Chat. I learned like a very like AJ like has really taught me a lot in life recently, and he told me one time that, you know, if you're ever in a casino and you want to quit, nah, just don't quit. Nah, like for real though. Like, chat, if you quit early, like, nah, like, you know, like, nah, just don't quit. All right. All right, where did this guy go? I need this chest plate. No key. I want to fight him. Do I even need obsidian for anything else? Yeah, I'll gamble the next that I get. Where'd this guy go? Wait, no way. This guy ran and he just didn't find me and just stopped chasing. Where'd he go? Oh, it's... Oh my... dude, no way. It's fucking... Oh, it's not Wilder. I thought this was Wilderhide. He's on. Yeah, I think he sees me. Watch, I'm just gonna run past him. What? Wait. Can y'all see his chest plate? Oh, it might be actually in the head. I'm gonna gamble the head, okay? Chill, chill, chill. I will gamble the head. Gambling addicts. Why is every kill I'm getting right now a freaking supply drop? Like, what? Yo. Yo, where the... Am I stupid that you don't have a chest plate on? Yo. Oh, it's down there, okay. Scripted game. Yep. Chat, I told Speedsilver to spawn me in a game with a bunch of NPCs, and well, it's working out right now. There you guys go, gambling addicts. Damn. Happy? All right. Well, I had to get unlucky somehow. What is this? Watch him have like a fire aspect book. Okay. Hey, I don't think that gambling part was not good, I'll be honest. But it's fine. We just need sharpness books now. Wait. What's in here? Alright. I mean, sharp 2 is not bad, but I would rather get a sharp 3. But I low-key want kills, so I kind of just want to go. What else can I do? Like, I have hella healing. Like, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go. 90% of gamblers quit. No, 99% of gamblers quit after the big win. Make more gapples? I could, but I mean, like 7's already enough, you know? If I actually died of healing, like, I don't know, like, nah, I'm done. Like, I'm done streaming. I don't know, like, XP chance pretty good. Alright, I'll get some more healing because I'm actually, like, scared, Loki. Before their big win, not after, before their big win. Yep. Yo, we'll make the dumbest jokes ever, bro. Deadass. Yeah, you guys should definitely gamble your whole life savings you have right now. Definitely, yep. Don't do it, by the way. I'm kidding. Don't gamble at all. How's everyone in chat doing, by the way? You guys are having a good day? Or sorry, good morning. I don't even know. Wait, 30 minutes till the game starts. Okay, I'm good. Chilling. No, but thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Bye. You're welcome. Just keep watching the stream. Keep watching the stream. It's for you. Ooh, house. I already have leather. I think someone has like a fire sword or something crazy. Something better than my sword. All right. Oh my god. Okay, so now I know. Wait, mods, can you guys remind me to lower down the volume of the gifted sound, because that thing's actually just like ear blasting. Like, it just ruins my ears, low key. Yo, actually an amazing email and amazing song. Instead of having it where it's like Theo Bio gifted the sub to. Theo Bio gifted the sub to. Theo Bio, like, bruh. Goodbye. Yeah. Okay. We're making progress. One later, all the girls are pretty. Sharpness? No sharpness books. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. There's like so much. What the fuck? Who started a forest fire? Who let this swine? Nah. We've all been there, chat. We've all been. Chat. Not everyone has been there, but we've all been to that heartbreaking stage. It sucks, but trust me. Oof. Come back 10 times harder. It's easy. You got this. You gotta just like enchant something and just get rid of it. Nope, that didn't work. Bro, can I not get a sharp book? Okay, that book. Bro, no sharp? Really? I don't even know how to enchant. Just keep enchanting swords, I guess. Like what? Literally no sharpness, bro. I'm trying to get sharp 3 diamond. Sharp 3 on the right. 2 kill game. It just doesn't sound cool. Hi, Jocelyn. Good morning. Morning, Jocelyn. How are you? Alright, I'm convinced that just no sharp in this game. I'm not getting a sharp 3. I have a feeling someone's also behind me. Oh my god. Please just give me sharp. Oh my. I low-key could have already made like Pro 3 pants, I'll be honest. Yeah. Good morning. I have a small cold. Oof. Low-key, I feel like I might get a cold soon, or like I might get sick soon, because I was out today and wasn't wearing a sweater out, so could be getting sick soon. W. Reason why I did it streams. Yo, kidding. Oh, W. Okay, about time. Sharpness and sharpness. Now I see like 5, I think. Go. All right. Here goes. Sharp 3, katana. I think I just died. Like someone has sharp 4 katana, or that's it. Why is your gapple so flat? Why, you like it or nah? Also, what's up, XP Chen? Oh, fuck. All right, let me sit down right in my chair. Oh, I see people.
What's that? Wait a minute. We gotta turn. Wait, Aaron, trust me.
Oh no!
We both are running now.
Okay,
we both are running now. Okay, we are.
No.
Oh no, he's not working.
Oh my god!
Where you going, bro?
Leave
Where
me
you going?
alone!
Huh?
Leave me alone! Dude, I'm subscribed to you. Please leave me
What's
alone.
my name? What's my
Please
name?
Leave me alone.
What's my name?
Andres.
No, that's not my name.
You. Oh, like.
My name is Andres.
In real life, I have no idea.
Yeah. What's my real life name? I'll give you $20 if you
I
get
have
it.
no idea.
Guess now, or forever hold your peace. Yo, bro. I'll be honest with you, bro. This is my luckiest game yet. Oh wait, how'd you know? Wait.
Yeah, same.
Wait.
So like.
Press 1, 2, 3,
how's
Q.
the Twitch chat, by the way?
You should ask my chat right now. Chat, how are you guys today?
How are you guys today?
They said to turn around real quick. So I give you the Mike Titan special.
Me? No.
No, yeah, you should turn around, dude. I'll be honest with you, man.
No.
Do you know who I am? I'm Mr. Beast.
Yes,
Now turn around.
You're
I
a
have...
YouTuber that is famous just because you were in here and that is Manhunt.
Okay, yeah, you're dying for sure.
all.
Nah, you're dying for sure.
Sorry, dude. No.
Nah, you're dead, bro.
No.
First of all,
Stop.
First of all, it wasn't Booster's videos, okay?
It's not true.
No.
It's not true. I do not think what I just said.
Yeah.
Stop.
Nah, bro. Give me a good reason why I should stop. Give me a good reason why I should stop.
I will donate stuff to you.
That's not a lot, actually.
Do you want a body?
Do I want a body pillow? No, bro. The fuck? All right, GG's. Okay. Gamble time. Bro said, do you want to? No, I don't want it. Chat, you guys want a free pillow? Put a 1 in chat for a free pillow giveaway. It'll be soon. I don't know what's soon, but soon. Okay, what's with all these levels, bro? Yo, you like thanks for follow, appreciate it, man. Soon, giveaway soon. Yeah, giveaway for the pillow soon. Why is there stuff here? Did someone die here? Yeah, there's villagers. Okay. Yo, what's with these like funny lobbies today, bro? It was me. Sorry I killed you, but no, I'm not the guy from Kier and Dev. Okay, first of all, I'm not Kier or Dev. Out of your mouth. Smiley face. GG's though. GG's. The villager got him. Wait a second. Wait, who's like my other biggest threat here? Bedwars Gaming. Loki, give me a threat. Chat, who's dangerous this game? Well, how'd you die? Me. Yeah, I think you're like low-key my biggest threat this game, and I killed you. But now what? Lil_Walnut. Low-key, yeah, he could be a threat. I can't really underestimate anyone. Everyone's pretty good. Also, we're 2 for 2 right now. This is gonna be 3 for 3. Okay, if I win this game. Right? How many? Yeah, right. I won the last game, right? No, or did I have? No. How many games have I played? 1 or 2? 1 to 1. Oh, okay. But yo, GG's, bro. Sorry I had to kill you, bro. I can't like let you run because I'm pretty sure I get banned. It's bannable if I let you run like that. And plus, what if I let you run and you kill like a full diamond and then you kill me? You know, freaking G, bro. Yeah, those messages. I know healing. No wonder. Yeah, I got the Bastion loot, so I was like stacked on healing. Low key. I can still make healing, but or like kill people right now. Oh, that match is literally in 1 minute. Okay. There's really no one alive. Okay. Sorry for saying right now. All right, Jack. If I get this random bow shot, everyone just is cool. Okay. I do a couple of them though. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, you don't want me your queue, bro. Yo. What's up, Yaratsa? Yarats. What's up, Yarats? Yeah, double copy. I kind of forgot. I also need to give Copper F7 TV access. I keep forgetting. How about you? Honestly, pretty good. Mexico starts in 20 minutes. Probably gonna watch that on stream as well. Yo, hey guys, what's everyone doing here? How's everyone doing?
There's someone both swapping with the Artemis.
Who?
It was gaming, I don't know.
Bad Wars Gaming.
Oh shit.
That's one. Wait, who are you? Who is this? Lil Walnut. Yo, what's up? All right, Lil Walnut. Well, you're gonna have to die, Lil Walnut. I see some guy getting chased. Yo, Eenies, bro. Eenies, bro. Yo, Lil Walnut, bro.
Yo.
Boost me. Good boost. You're dead. Yes. Come here. Oh, W juke, W juke, W juke.
Please.
No, I'm sorry, Lil Walnut. Oh, okay, Fortnite builder.
Fortnite.
Wait.
Oh.
Oh. Well, that's not good. Aenies. Yo, Aenies. I'm getting comboed by Aenies. Okay, hello? Like, I can't hit. Okay. Okay, 5 kills. Aw, shit. Yo, no. Where you going, Lil Walnut? Where you going, Lil Walnut? Nah, don't get that chest, bro. Don't get that chest, bro. Oh, coughing. You sick, man?
Yeah, I am.
That's not nice. Oh, Better again. What's up?
Take pity on me.
Okay, well, he's dead.
He's dead.
No. Okay, you're dead.
Let's go.
I was gonna have a fair fight with you, but you just stole my kill. Not very happy now. Uh-oh.
Do damage.
Uh-oh. Wait, don't run. Uh-oh.
I won't run.
Alright, Ben. GG! 2 for 2, chat. 2 for 2. 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 Nice. What's up, Edwin? Good morning. GG chat. 2 for 2. All right. Who's on my F list? Who's online right now? Okay. What's up, Jonah? Welcome back. GG's chat. We go again. Again. I'm addicted to Hoplite. I'm a fiend. All right, chat. There he goes. All right, chat.
Wait, someone's crying.
Yo, Mads. Thanks for tier 1. Thank you, Mads.
Mads3 just subscribed.
Yo, Mads 3.
Thought I'd pop in before sleeping. What happened to your poor sleeping schedule?
Long story. Long story. No, I'm kidding. Pretty much I am watching the soccer game today. It's literally in 20 minutes, 15 minutes now. Sec. I gotta, okay. But yeah, Mexico plays Germany in 15 minutes, so I'm gonna watch that. But yeah, that's why I'm up. Yeah, thanks for sub. Appreciate you. Chat, by the way, what did everyone eat for today? Everyone have food? Everyone already eat? Please tell me you ate. Don't starve. Please eat. I know someone said they had ramen earlier. That's the dubs. Okay. Ramen, I see you. W ramen, W ramen. Please eat, please eat, please eat. Draw, please eat, please eat. Yo, Duke. What's up, Duke? What it do? What it do, Duke? What's up, man? Hello. Vorton, hi Vorton. Vorton, hello, how are you, Vorton? Haven't seen you in forever. So Wick, why the fuck did you watch under 7? Wait, what? Oh, because it's literally the World Cup. Like what? It's just regardless of who they are. It's just Mexico in this World Cup. I watched the Women's World Cup, but obviously Mexico wasn't in it. But yeah, I watched that whole thing. Oh, diamonds. Dupe again? Fuck. Chat, should I play solo Civ? Thoughts? Chat, thoughts on solo Civ? You think I get like 30 kills on solo Civ? Wait, let me go like explore this part. What's up, 123 King? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? Yo, should I do face cam streams, chat, again? I'm thinking about doing face cam again. Low key. I've been looking good. I've been looking good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I should. I'll see. I'll think about it. I've done face cam streams in like 6 months. Nah, Souls, bro. Chat, for those of you guys that don't know who Souls is, this guy gifted me 50 subs one time and said he was bored. And then he gifted me another 50 saying, sorry, I was bored still. Like, what? All right, bro's just bored. Like, bro's gifting money just because he's bored. Bro's crazy. What's up, Trans? What the hell? Where have you been, bro? All right, Souls. Yeah, bro is just, I don't even know. Just gifted 100 because he was bored. Insane. That was literally last month. Like, what? What did I do to you yesterday? You made me fucking hungry and I hate you. Yo, also, yeah. This guy was sending me him eating Shake Shack for like 3 in the morning for me. Like, okay. Bro just wanted to make me hungry. And I haven't had Shake Shack in literally like forever. Like, Shake Shack is probably better than In-N-Out. I'll be honest with you. I did sleep hungry and I hate you for that. All right. You're just gonna keep poisoning me or okay? Wait, I'm actually like, what? Okay. Yo, clear comms. Okay. So nice, Souls. Now what, huh? Now what? You made me hungry again. I'm hungry now. Now what, huh? Now what? Is that your plan all along? To make me damn hungry? Well, guess what? It's working. All right? It's working. You know what I have open right now next to me? Nothing. What's up, Nev? All right, Nev. Welcome to the stream, Nev. Hi, Nev. Dude, I have a low-key headache now. Fuck. I had a Mexican dish today. It was pretty good. My mother made it at the party. Dubs. W mom, W mom. I still owe you guys a mom stream, don't I? You know, she actually asked me one time if she was gonna still come on stream. I told her about remember the subathon like back in February. She still wants to come, but she says any sub that I get goes to her. I'm like, oh my god, bro, are you fucking serious right now? Yo, chat, should I do that? Any subs that my mom gets, I have to give her the money for it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Nah, 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 nah. Souls hates me. Souls hates me. Souls, did you leave already, Souls? Are you making hungry again? Damn, low-key, I'm actually hungry now. Fuck. Imagine like a nice like pasta right now. Chef's kiss. Oh my. James G. Lampart. Okay. Wait, did I already put my Twitch link in there? I hope I didn't. Who's in this game? Someone's called me cutie. What? Stop. Okay. All right. Dude, holy shit. All right. Someone's saying that I'm getting real low on HP. Oh my, yo, I'm getting roasted in the DMs right now. All right. Okay. All right. Nah, nice. Damn. I cry now. Nah, they're just jealous. Nah, it's fine. Just wait. Just wait, Kugo. But yeah, how are you, Nev? How was your day today? Are you a fan of Hoplite? I love Hoplite, smiley face. That's what I'm saying, bro. Pasta. Oh, squid ink pasta, though. Squid ink pasta is crazy. There's a place in LA. Oh, it's 5. Oh, chef's kiss. So good. I love Hoplite. I know. You said you were a speedrunner watcher. Weren't you? Wait, are you the person who said that? No, I think it was Chloe, wasn't it? I think Chloe said they were a speedrunner watcher. I think. I'm not too sure anymore. I forget things fast. Bro, yeah, okay. I think they're top 10 in worldwide as well. GG's. Top 10 speedrunner. What am I saying, bro? I have no books. I gotta go up and find books. Gold. Bologna? What about bologna? Bologna what? A bologna sandwich is kind of fire. It's alright. Ham and cheese, though. You can't just go wrong with a ham and cheese sandwich. Like, ham and cheese goes crazy. You ever just put, like, lettuce on the ham and cheese? Oh, my. Like, oh, my. What about, what else is good right now? What playlist is this? It's my private playlist. Do you like it? Bolognese. Japanese. I feel like someone's been here. You need healing? Nah, it's fine. I get final heal. I gotta final heal. Yeah, it's not like Epic UHC where you just are 1 heart and just die. You actually have a chance to come back. Wait, really? You don't like sushi? Sushi's okay. I used to actually be the biggest sushi hater until I actually had like more and more. There is shitty kind of sushi though. You can definitely get like horrible sushi. But like, yeah. You know what I've noticed though? Living in California is when you order California rolls, usually those are pre-packaged. So any like those stores that sell like you know, California rolls, they'll just sell you the pre-packaged California rolls, and that shit's gross. So I just get the what's it called? I just get like anything that's on the like the chef's menu, you know? That's usually what's good on the chef's menu. just having fun. Okay. Yep. And let's go. Any like last second diamonds in here? Last second diamonds. Any last second diamonds? I saw gold, but I might actually. Do I have the gold? I have 16 gold. Good. I'd have made a sushi restaurant like not 4 minutes from you or 4 minutes from you. Like 4 minutes from you. Marble, hi Marble. Hello. How are you, Marble? Yo, Marble, how are you so good at art, bruh? Like, you actually been nailing all the management art recently. Holy. W art, W art. Less than 4 minutes, gotcha. Yeah, I have. There's a popular sushi restaurant that opened next to me. It's been like crazy overpopulated. Like, oh, there's damage right there. I don't know. Like, everyone's gone to it. You know, it's like one of those sushi places where it's like you hear it on TikTok and you just go to it. So, bro, really? All right. So there's someone there. R_S. Is bro making another portal? I think he is. Gotta go up. So when he comes back, just kill him. Wait, there's lag? Audio play on Nick. Literally free advertising. When people click, people are like, oh my god, he might be live. They come to my stream and then like, oh my god, he is live. And then they see my stream and then like, oh wait, I can stream snipe him. And then I realize that I can just kill him. Easy. I need a supply drop again. I need an unplanned supply drop from someone. Will Hyde's in this game. Wait, Will Hyde, are we friends already on game? Because Will Hyde's like a nice guy. Will Hyde does not clean me at all. W Will Hyde. W Will Hyde. Oh, I wonder if they took the. Okay. I wanted to see if they took the book from this house over here, but I don't know. I'd rather just get a book or whatever. I'll just get a book normally. What is it dropping? Would you like to see Hoplite in the future? Honestly, I want to see some armor, ultra, like extra ultimate. I think armor would be pretty sick, like a dragon chestplate or like something like that nature. I think that would be fire. Or like, I don't know. What about like, you know what? I don't know. Something just came to my mind. What if we get like a sword, like Midas, but like every 5 kills, you can either respawn a player. Like, you have to get the kills with the sword, right? Every 5 kills, you can either upgrade the sharpness on the sword, or we can respawn a player. Thoughts? Thoughts? Obviously, it'd be like the same way to craft a Midas, but you need like 2 heads, a clock. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool now. Oh. AFK? Bet. Wait. How are you doing on a small phone? I bet. Is there a thing? Popular versus not popular? Wait, what do you mean? Hunters rule out white final fight. If he makes it a final fight, I'm down. don't have levels. The fuck? Okay. That's a first. Wait, no apples? Hello? Apple drops? Question mark? Also, what's up, WhatsApp? Hello. How are you, WhatsApp? I have a clock. Yep, clock. Okay. Oh, 2 levels. Oh, look at my inventory, bruh. What the fuck? Get this element. No, get out of here. Ew, 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 ew. Okay. Okay. All right. That just... Oh, that was so disgusting. I saw that. Yeah, like... Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure sakis are not allowed, but, like, I can't, like, just be like, okay, well, like, how do I explain it? Like, that one game where... Who was it that gave me, like, all this strength? I didn't tell them to do that, right? Someone just gave it to me. Someone just came, they saw me, and they just dropped it, and they just left the game. Like, I can't stop that, you know? It's like, if obviously if I tell my chat, like, yo, chat, come to these chords and just fight you guys, that's, like, actually bannable for myself. But if there's something that... Hold on, this guy just... So, yeah, chat, like, I love just, like, swimming in water and stuff, and this guy's fucking stream sniping. Surely he is, right? Got a gap off, bro? No. Come on. Got him. R2 diamond. Arrows hit books. The fuck did he have? So much arrow I can make though. Oh my god, wait. Brad. Insta 4. Prot 1. How many arrows, bro? I need to go for that back. That one piece. I see him. Whatever. When it's broke. Wait, there's literally a... Sunset like it was last night. Fireworks. All right. I just wanna hear your voice and. Yeah, this song is low-key like sad, but it's fun. I'm chilling. Is that Rado? Go punch my TP. Yeah, punch my TP. Okay. I can make XP bottles as well. Make that sharp 3, but I'd rather just enchant my armor right now. If I had a lapis. I'll enchant my armor if I have a lapis. Oh, just 4 diamonds as well. Beat the lapis up. Okay. Prot. I can make prot 2 armor as well. That is a W. Mexico started playing, by the way, chat. Yeah. Oh my god. Yo, is it the same gear? Like, what? I see someone, bruh. Yeah, I'd rather just... Wait. Can you speak Spanish? Yes. I am Mexican. Yes, I can. Oh, like, what are these? Fuck. You fish the barrel dupes? Yeah, but that's bannable. That's bug abusing. I'm gonna be skip the stream up, but yo, appreciate it, Nev. I appreciate you so much. You should join the Discord though. You should join the Discord. Join the Discord. Okay, Willerhide, I see you. I see you, Willerhide, getting kills out there. Like, what do I throw away? I'm just not gonna throw anything away. Wait, can I? Wait. No, I don't. Can't make it. Okay. What the fuck am I doing? I'm just botting out. Like, what do I do? What do I do? Let's go. That's not 0-0. Can you speak Spanish? Yes. If you ask me a question in Spanish, I'll probably respond to you in Spanish. It's just how I work. Spanish is my first language I spoke. And then English. And then I took French on my phone. And didn't work out. I know cheval is like horse, something like that. That's about it. And bonjour. Is that right? Cheval? It's cheval French. Am I stupid? I won't learn Spanish because it's cool. Oh, look at that person. Yo. No microphone. Is it my name? Is it Minitech? Oh, hey, yo. I think that's a German name, right? Dutchens. I don't know how to say that. In Spanish, nightmare. Yeah, I don't know. I think Spanish is easy to learn. What's easy? I think no. English is. Isn't English like the easiest language to learn? Right? Oh, I didn't go nether this game. Fuck. Someone could have pots. Whatever, it's fine. Oh, bro's boating away. I just missed the boat. Fuck, alright. Well, honestly, I don't want to chase him for that long. I hit a gap when I see someone. Only finish? Really? Okay. Oh, I see someone. No, no, no. Don't go down there. Hey, 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 hey. I know you. Oh, oh. Never mind, you're dead. I'm so sorry I killed this guy. I killed this poor man. I'm so sorry. Hello. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, what's up? Meow. Wait, we gotta fight now, man. I shot you. I'm killing your dogs. Kill your dog. Alright, you have 1 dog left. Wanna bow it? Come here. Alright, your dogs are dead. You're dead next. Come here. Hey, we're gonna fight. No way.
Qndres, what's up? Let's chill.
Nah, this Willer High guy. All right, apparently I'm
Good.
in freaking
so
just
silent?
dodge. All right, just dodging every single arrow. Yep, yep,
I'm used
yep.
to him shouting at me.
Okay, I'm just dodging every arrow that just comes to my face. Okay. All right.
Oh,
Yep.
what is? Stop moving. Stop moving. Stand still. Stand still. Stand still. Stand still. We need to kill you. This is you're under arrest. You're under arrest, Qndres. You killed so many people. Uh-oh. I didn't mean that.
Uh-oh. Oh. You better run. You have 3 seconds. 3, 2.
Yo.
Oh my god. Sharp 3. Power 4? That web though? No, that web will go crazy, huh? Wait, I'm literally live. I forget. Diamonds? How many? Wait, Jamie Foxx. He thinks, yo, Jamie Foxx. Or Hamas. Okay. Yo, what did you have in your inventory, bro? Okay, bro just had a bunch of levels. Okay. Okay. That's my sharp 3. No way. You also had sharp 3? I guess everyone's just making sharp 3s nowadays, huh? Is that's just like another... What is that? Power 1, okay. What else is in here that I need? What, hoop? Okay. Sometimes another sharp 3. Dude, what do I even pick up at this point? Okay. Bundle? Wait, can I make one? Is it leather? Oh, there's a bundle. Wait, thank you for that message. Actually, I can gamble. Wait, hold on. Can I please get the bundle? Okay, just a bunch of gold. Oh. Okay. Like my ear hurts. Okay, there's just another word in there. It's just not gonna like. Okay. Okay. I really hope you're the word. Okay. This dude cleaned me after I got 4 kills. Like who? Who killed you? Cleaned you? Oh my god! I see a person with the. No, how? No way. If I shoot him here, everyone gets 5 subs. Damn it. 5 subs. Fuck. 5 subs. Oh my god, I'm fucking crazy. Yo, what's up, man? Wait. Wait, W cobwebs. Okay. T. Okay, I'm gambling. Eight gold. 8 gold. 3 gaps. Damn it. Okay. I got nobody. Hold on. I need to put the game. Okay, after this game, I gotta put the soccer game on because it started already. Okay. What? Yo, how do you have so much gold? Okay, bro just had infinite gold, I guess. I don't even know what to do with the head. I have a sponge. Oh, I have levels now, apparently. Okay. Lapis? Throw a lapis out. Where? Okay, got it. I killed the guy with gold. Oh. Oh! Did he pick my entry table up? No, he did. Yay. I see you. It's he. Wait a second. Are you trapping? Oh, you're drinking pots. Okay. Oh. Thank you for telling me that you're drinking pots.
I'm a huge fan, but I don't have any healing, so I'm probably dead.
What?
I don't have any healing.
Oh. Got him. Got him. All right. I'm convinced this is actually an AI generated game. Wait, did he get pots? Wait, what? We get wait, what? Wait, should have made strength too. Okay, good. Actually did damage, low key. Down. Okay, well, like now what? Pro 3 chestplate, or do I enchant my boots, my leggings? Enchant this. And then just... I have 2 netherite, like, okay. Yo. What's up? Hello. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Is that you in game? GG's, man. GG's. Yeah, I'm pretty stacked. I think I'm pretty stacked. Wait, who's shooting me, bro? Oh, it's this guy. He's also... Wait, I don't need you. Hold on. Okay. Where'd my compass go? Come here, let's fight. We failed. Yeah, why are... Literally. It's like chill right now. Wait, I want that. I want the trident. Wait, don't run. Bro, don't run, bro. I want the trident, bro. Let's fight. Please? Can we fight? Please? Okay. Hey, yo. Let's fight, bro. Let's fight. If this guy stops blowing me, we fight, okay? Okay? Yo, can you do me a favor, actually? Like, can you actually hit me a couple times so I can run away? Yo, I'm being serious. I need you to hit me a couple times. Yo, turn around, bro. I need you to hit me with that trident. Okay, we're just not listening to me. So how's it today, Capent Element Gamer? Capentum. Yo, hello? We were talking earlier. Yo. What? What'd you say? So, how's... Oh, we're gonna swim in the water? Okay. So how's your day today? There is no Mexican? What do you mean? There is. Bro, like... Oh my god. Alright, let's fight then. And now you're running away from me. Alright, Crab. Alright, Crab. Nah, Crab, let's fight. There is. Look it up. Look up Mexico U17 game. It's literally today. Literally like right now. Yo, Crab, bro. What's the plan, brother? What's the plan? What's the plan? There is a Mexican, Jonah. There is. I swear to you, there is. Okay. Yeah. Wait, could you actually tell me this? Have they started already, right? It's 4:18, so it's probably like 0-0 still. I'm guessing, unless Germany has scored. Okay, there's just like this guy's just not gonna fight me. I have to bow him. Okay. Dude, no one's fighting me. 20 minutes. It's in 20 minutes? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Has it not started? It started? Okay, bet. I gotta put it on my phone right now. I'm charging, so. I didn't know it was, yeah, C17. Just 20 minutes into the game, bet. Thank you for fighting me, bro. Holy shit. I swear to God, like, oh, never mind. Oh, you're actually, wait, you're gonna fight me? Okay, cool. Wait, what is your KB? Oh, I thought it was double hits. Yo, flag. Okay. Okay. I like the cap. Oh, come on. Can we fight? 30 seconds, please. Come on. Please. Oh. Oh, fuck. This isn't good. This isn't looking good, chat. Yo, yo, yo. Please reflect. Yes, I got it. Cool. Okay. Let's vamos. Can we say vamos? Wait, someone. I heard someone drink strength. Come here. Oh my god, bruh. It's really like the only threat in the game, to be honest with you. Blow me again. No, blow me again right here. Again. I don't care. I just gotta get this guy dead. Please. Got him. And Java pots. GG. Holy shit. Oh no, this is the guy that was running from me all game. Nah, bro. You can't run. I got speed too. Be so mad at me for. Okay, what am I doing? I try going for the trick shot, but it's not gonna work. You know the GN? G. Okay. How does he get these sits off? Oh, okay. I don't want to do that. that. I wanted to trick shot him last kill, but GG's, I guess. Another win, another win, another win. GG. 3-0, 3-0, chat. 3-0. Okay, okay. Okay, not too shabby, not too shabby. Another 3 wins. GG's, guys. GG's. One sec, I gotta play this game. I'm outside my monitor. Do that. One sec, chat. One sec. Give me like 2 seconds. I just gotta put this game so I can watch it. Yep, found it. 17. Watch live. All right, I'm watching it now. 0-0. 25th minute. Okay. But website. I can't say. I can't say. I can't say. I can't. No, we can't. I can't put it on screen because it's. I'll get banned on Twitch. Just everyone, just look it up. You know. Yeah, I can't put it on stream. I'll just get banned. Wait, chat. We're 3 for 3 though. That's pretty cool. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. Wait, I didn't go back and check this thing over here. Damn, Iser's in 4th. That's 67. Damn, I gotta catch up, bro. I got like 12 more games to play. Or I guess like has to even be in 10th. Jesus. Bet. Can I stats Feinberg? No, I can't. I want to see Feinberg stats. Why don't you just don't you stats Nick? Because exposure W. It's probably like low key my last game because I want to watch the game in my bed. Actually, you know what? I low key want to watch this game. No cap. I did say I was only gonna stream until the game started. That's why I'm staying up. Fuck. You know what? I'll probably stream later on today, chat. Low key. Low key, I'll stream later on tonight. Yeah. Yo, I just shot 20 viewers and I got off of Hoplite. That's crazy. I'll stream later tonight. I'll stream later tonight. Like later on. Like in the morning. I'll stream 5 hours from now. How about that? I'm gonna rate him. He's doing parkour. Everyone just chat. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the subs again. Appreciate you guys. Sorry for this little late night stream. I really want to watch this game in peace. Anyways, yep. Love you guys. Bye, guys. I'm in Discord. Join this Discord. Literally, post it. I go live on here. All right. All right. Love you guys. Peace out. Bye bye.